got this feeling.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the Youth Developer. Today's interview is with Michelle Cattouse. She is a PL Center Director, the executive and founder of YSuperstars, and a mentor for girls. Let's hear her story.
I can honestly say that I did not arrive here. I didn't choose this profession. I went through 3 years of school at John Jay and decided I was going to be a criminal justice lawyer. Got to my last year and was like, I don't like this no more. What else am I going to do? And then I was given an opportunity to run a program, and then the light bulb just came on that this was what I wanted to do. And then even when I get discouraged, because sometimes in youth development, you have to know that things are not going to always go according to what you want them to go to, especially when you have to deal with the politics that comes behind youth development now. It becomes a little discouraging. So there's been times that I'm just like, you know what, I'm not doing this no more. Let me go back to the corporate world. And then somehow or other I get trapped, surrounded by little people again. So then I realize I'm just like, okay, so this is really what you want me to do, God? Okay, so this is what we're doing. You sure this is what you want me to do? Because I'm not too sure I want to do this. But if this is what you want me to do, then all right, we're going to do this. So I always tell people, I'm like, I didn't choose this profession. It's not like I woke up one day and was like, oh yeah, I want to work with kids. No. I had a vision of being a boss in a white suit, running businesses all over the world and making money and having private jets, and that did not work out. Instead I have programs and millions of kids that know me all over Staten Island and Brooklyn. So it definitely was a difference, and I'm just like, okay, but it's rewarding.
Yeah.
And that's the good thing. When I think about how many kids I've watched come through and make it, even with their circumstances of life and their challenges, and they still push forward, and I have some that's graduated colleges and now they're in law school and business schools. That's when I'm like, okay, so this is why you wanted me to do this. Okay, I got it now, I got it. So it's never that I chose it, it chose me. It chose me and accepted me, because I came with my own stuff too. So it was a little difficult at first. I think I would like to see more programming geared towards entrepreneurship, so our young people can come out and have more opportunities open to them to own their own business. It's what I would hope to see happen. That would be the first thing. The second thing is I also would want to have them be able to, if not become entrepreneurs, because I'm sure that's not everybody's dream, at least have it as a skill set. But if that's not their dream today, at least be afforded the opportunities to open up other doors of what they may like arts, robotics, painting, dancing, those things. And sometimes I feel like we take them for granted that our young people are not all traditional learners and they're not all academically based. And so sometimes we have to channel the other things that they may like to do. And it's not going to always be about reading a book and passing a test for them. That's not going to help them to succeed in the world. So for me, that tends to be my focus when it comes to youth development. So my caring doesn't just go from 9 to 5 or 9 to 6 when programming ends. It's more of a care not just for the student, but for the family, the siblings, for the entire package, because I always feel like if I can impact a child, then I'm impacting a community. So if I get one child, that's another step into the community I'm going. So I think that's what makes me a little bit different. And I think that I'm always looking for fresh new ideas that'll keep them stimulated. And I'm always looking for their voice. Their voice is what matters to me. It's not really what adults want. I don't really cater to adults. I'm all for my kids. And so I think that's where the difference comes in, as that I have parents come and tell me, oh, well, I don't want them to interact today because they didn't do their homework yesterday. That's not my problem. That's your problem. I'm going to let them do whatever they need to do, because what we fail to realize sometimes is that children, even though they're young in age, they're little people. They do have feelings, they can express them, and they have a voice, and it needs to be heard. And I think we need to just take more time to listen to them sometimes, and we don't. I want to know that while for young people there tends to be so many adults that let them down, I want to be an adult that doesn't. And I want them to be empowered to know that even with the hurdles that you come through in life, you can make it. Everything that you're going through is not for you, it's for somebody else. So just imagine that whatever you're going through right now is just for right now, and then you're going to be able to help somebody else that comes behind you that's going to go through the same exact thing. So I think that I'm already kind of achieving it because I have a pretty nice background already. And when I look back, I'm like, wow, I did that. Oh wow, I didn't even know I did that. So I like that idea. When I see that kids are really making it, and again, there is no clear definition of what making it means, because some people would say making it means graduating and not going off to college. Some people would say that they skipped being a teen mother. Some people will say that they are a scholar. It depends. Every child is different. Every single one of them. So making it depends on whatever is beneficial to that young person. Making sure that they have all the tools so that they can be clear, critical thinkers when they get older, to me, is making it.
I got that sunshine in my pocket, got that good soul in my feet. I feel that hot blood in my body when it drops.
The most recent book I read was A Boy's World. Don't remember who the author is by, but the basis of the book was it teaches us how our boys learn different from our girls, which we kind of knew already because we already know that girls are way smarter than boys anyway. But girl power. But now we have to figure out, as program goes and as academics go, what makes them so different. So we in this particular book, it taught me that boys go by stimulation. So everything for them has to be hands-on. So they do well in robotics and mathematics programs and stuff like that because it's more hands-on and it gives them instant stimulation. Whereas girls are a little bit more grounded. Of course we are. We're a little bit more critical thinkers, and we're going to figure this out before we even move on the next thing. And so that's kind of what made the difference with that. And then the next book I read was Who Moved My Cheese? Do you love that book?
Yes.
Me too. This is my third time reading it. So I reference it because sometimes I become discouraged. Like I'm like, okay, so I'm not seeing the cheese no more. Where is the cheese?
Who ate it?
Who ate the cheese? Like somebody ate the piece of cheese. I done ran through this whole rat race. There's no cheese here. Where is the cheese? So that helped me to just like become regrounded, to figure things out, to reassess myself, my program, and what things I might need to change. And so that helped me. And then it also motivated me to not give up just yet because the cheese is not there visually. It's there, but it's just not visual yet. So that helped a lot. So I always keep that book as a reference. And Wonder Woman, of course, she's like the ultimate mentor because she just makes everything happen. It's so bad because my kids tell me, they're like, you're so biased. You're always with the girls over the boys. I'm like, yeah, because it's girl power. Like, get with it. We do everything. Without us, y'all can't do anything anyway. But I think one of my best mentors was when I first came into youth development. I had a director. His name was William Norris, and he like broke me down to the real world of youth development. And at that time, it was a harsh reality because honestly, coming in, I had like such a prairie house picture of youth development. And we're just gonna do this and we're gonna do that, and then he taught me that no. You still have to do this, you have to follow up with that. You have all these people you have to answer to. They don't really care about what you're doing. They just want to know that you have the numbers in. And I'm like, numbers? You're saying my kids are numbers? They're not numbers, they're humans. And he's like, no, they're numbers. Because for each number you have, numbers go up for you. And I was like, oh. And even now for me, that's still a struggle. When I have to look at my budget versus the kids I want to service, it's like, so I can only service 120 kids? Do you know that I have a population of 1,000 kids in this area and I can only touch 120 because of these numbers? I'm just like, okay. So, but he taught me that, and he taught me ways to get around it, which was really, really beneficial to me. And even to this day, I can still reach out to him and I can still lean on him when I'm just not sure about certain things or things that I want to do, or just for what needs to happen for our kids. And so that makes a difference. So he's been awesome for me for that. I think people in general are mentors because I look at a little bit of everybody and I pull a little bit from everybody around me and see what they have. So I think everybody around me is pretty much mentors. I don't think they know I pull from them, but I do. I pull sometimes more from others, but yeah, I think everybody around me pretty much are like mentors to me because I watch and I learn from people.
You're a sponge.
Yeah, I am a sponge. I soak it all up. So my peeps, So it would be sane to say that my peeps probably would be fellow directors, but that's really, while it makes sense to say it, it's unrealistic because they're good soundboards, but they don't have solutions because they're in the same boat you're in. So they're like, do you know what happened to them? And they're like, yeah, that happened to me, but they're not giving you groundage back. Like, okay, this happened, but now you can do this. You know what?
I didn't bring it. I forgot.
My peeps probably would be my youth council. Because my youth council, when I talk to them and I'm feeling some kind of way, they give me a whole new outlook on things. And then it makes me look at them and I'm just like, so you're in the 5th grade and you know this already? How? Because it really makes sense. And they're just like, you know what, Miss Michelle, it's simple. It doesn't have to be that difficult. Just do da-da-da-da. And I'm just like, right, that would work. Why didn't I think of that? Am I that complex? But kids just think differently. So I would probably say my peeps on my youth council.
5th graders?
5th graders.
How many youth council?
8.
Cool.
Yeah. And so they're really knowledgeable. They know what's going on in the program. They come and they let me know what's working, what's not working. And like I said, sometimes I can have a whole agenda for a meeting with them, and then the agenda just goes out the window because the meeting just goes left. But it tends to be so beneficial to maybe something that I might have needed from them or that they may need from me. So I probably say my peeps on my youth council, my daughter, that's my soundboard. I probably burn her ears up the most. Because I'll fuss to her, I'll cry to her. And she's also like, well, Mom, you got this. So she's my support. You got Patty, because you know I'm going to bother you. I got Patty. I'm going to call Patty because this don't make no sense. We got to go to mustard seed. I need some tea because this is stressing me out. Mr. Brucey too. Mr. Brucey is a good support system because he gets what I'm trying to do and he supports it. And so even though it may not be in the realm of what the agency wants, he gives me enough room to do what I want because he knows who I'm trying to support. So that helps me a lot. And then he just always lets me come and take over his office whenever I want as a hideout. So he's like, who are you hiding from? I'm just like, I'm tired. I just need a spot, please. And he's like, what's the matter? Yeah, I'll tell him. And then he always has a good outlook to it too. Yeah. How often do I
play? Yeah, we already know that answer because you answered earlier. But how do you reward your accomplishments?
Well, how about I am not even aware of the accomplishments. So I had somebody write me recently and ask me to do a program success resume, which I was like, what the hell is that? And so it's a breakdown of all the things that you went out to accomplish in the school year and all the things that you did accomplish. So it gives you an idea to look back on what you did accomplish. And I'm just like, we did that? We got that done? Really? She passed the test? She went on to the next question? I don't know. I'm totally oblivious to accomplishments. So it's just like, Patty, I don't look for a reward. I don't even know how to reward myself. I didn't even know I could get a reward off of that. I thought just the good feeling that I get in my heart was a reward. Like,
Part of it. But we'll dig in.
I could buy shoes? If I could buy shoes. I mean, yeah, because I really, really don't. I've never sat down and thought about, okay, so if you make this accomplishment, what's your reward? My reward is just feeling good that I made the accomplishment, I guess. And that's even if I acknowledge that I made the accomplishment. Because it just seems like the day-to-day. It's just what we do. It's youth programming. This is what we do. We do this all day, every day.
Yeah. No, we're going to talk about that. Yeah, this is why I keep asking, and it's like I get the same answer.
Yeah, because we're all like, are you telling us that somebody owes us money?
You have a check coming up. No,
right. Yeah. Right. Can I get one off of yours? Yeah. Like, It's never that hard, and that your wings are sturdy enough to handle it. And advice, I would say, know that the difficult kids are the kids we want. Sometimes, or too many times, we're quick to shun the ones that give a little bit of difficult time. But in my experience of my career, my difficult kids are the ones that molded me into who I am. If it came too easy, it's no work. And if you don't put the work in, you're not going to get anything out of it. So I think that's the difference. So I would tell the next director coming up behind me, give your all to every child. No matter how good or bad, even though they're not good or bad, they come with different packages. So I always look at each kid as a Christmas gift. And so when you think about the joy, you're going to open up this gift and what's inside, because what's inside is really what you're trying to get to. That's the core of the kid. You want to get to the core of them. So when you're opening them up, and you take your time, you unwrap the ribbon and you tear off the paper, because it's really pretty paper. You don't want to rip the paper, so you tear it off. And think about that beautiful gift that you have inside. And just make sure you take care of that gift, because they're so precious. They're so precious. And when you take care of that gift, they grow up and they become somebody else's gift. And then they can now share the gift to somebody else, and the gift just keeps giving. And that's what I really think, that sometimes people get into this field. I ask people all the time, like, why did you come into youth development? They go, oh, because I like kids. It's not enough. Yeah, you can like them and send them home. But what do you really want from them? What do you want them to walk away with? And I think that has to be something that, as a director, anybody working with young people, you have to know what you want from them. And what you want has to supersede what you're going to be given, because you're going to be given a lot. But you have to be able to stay open and focused on that pretty gift. It's inside the box. So I think that would be what I would mainly tell directors. And just stay focused and committed. And just know that you may not see the outcome right now, but you might read about it on the TV or in a newspaper article or something that was one of your students. And they got to where they got because you told them they were able to get there, that they could do anything they wanted to do. Because your words do live on with them. We don't see them all the time. I think they're not listening, they're listening to everything. So that would be one of the things I think I would tell as a director.
Aww. Wait for that future director.
You got this, you can do this. It's not easy, but you can do it.
And that wraps up our interview with Michelle. Yes, Michelle is a true superstar. Guys, as always, please leave your love, comments, and likes for Michelle. And please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.